before the voyage. Rowan believed he knew exactly where he belonged. He was one of the mountain clan's most respected commanders, trusted, admired, destined for a future shaped by tradition. But there was one future the council never approved of, the woman he loved. When orders arrived sending him across distant seas, they called it duty. Yet everyone understood what it truly was, a separation, a test, perhaps even a punishment. Before he departed, Rowan made a promise. He would return. At the time, he still believed loyalty could solve everything. The voyage lasted far longer than anyone expected. Years passed, and the world revealed itself one lesson at a time. Rowan met scholars who questioned ideas he had never thought to challenge, merchants who built trust between strangers from distant lands, warriors whose strength came from discipline rather than rank, and teachers who possessed no titles at all, yet carried more wisdom than kings. The farther Rowan traveled, the larger the world became, and the smaller his old certainties seemed. Eventually, the road led home. The village looked exactly as he remembered. The banners still flew, the walls still stood, the people still celebrated the commander who had left years before. But Rowan noticed something different. Not in the village, in himself. The place had remained unchanged. He had not. The realization came sooner than expected. Inside the council hall, a young helper made a simple mistake. A dropped scroll, nothing more. Yet the response was swift, familiar, accepted. The kind of behavior nobody questioned because it had existed for so long. Years ago, Rowan might have looked away. This time, he stepped forward, not with anger, not with violence, just conviction. For the first time in years, the room was forced to confront itself. The council misunderstood what had happened. They assumed Rowan wanted influence, authority, a greater voice within the clan. So they offered him everything: the position, the honors, the future that once seemed impossible to refuse. To them, it was the highest reward imaginable. But while the council looked at the throne, Rowan found himself looking beyond the walls, toward a horizon they could no longer see. Then Rowan saw something the council had overlooked. Life had continued while he was away. The woman he loved had not stood still. She had built something meaningful, something honest, a life shaped by her own choices. And standing there, watching quietly from a distance, Rowan understood a truth his travels had taught him again and again. The most valuable things in life cannot be granted by position and cannot be measured by status. The council waited for an answer, but Rowan had already made his choice. Not out of anger, not out of rebellion, and not because the clan had nothing left to offer. He simply no longer needed to become smaller, to belong. So Rowan walked forward, not toward power, not toward approval, but toward a life that matched the person he had become. Because sometimes growth asks a difficult question, and eventually, we all must answer it. Don't shrink to fit places you have outgrown.